Black-owned restaurant called The District. Apparently, the restaurant is in some sort of legal dispute with the landlord, and it's gotten pretty ugly. So ugly, in fact, that the 3 black members of the LA City Council recorded a video in support of the restaurant, which is now circulating online. You might have seen it by now. To be clear, here at KBLA, we have nothing but love for Council members Heather Hutt and Curran D. Price Jr., who have been real champions for this particular black-owned and operated business, even though KBLA does not sit in either of their council districts. But take a listen to our 8th District Council member, Marquise Harris Dawson, who, as you know, is also president of the LA City Council.
Marquise Harris Dawson, president of the Los Angeles City Council and representative of District 8. We just want you to know, from the 10th District to the 8th District and all across the city, we love the district. We support Tyree and the whole team that's there. It's one of the most beloved sports watching facilities in our district, and we all stand by them 100%.
All right, now for starters, lip service is not leadership, and slogans are not solutions. That said, I played that video at least 5 times. I mean, I was gobsmacked. The council president stands with black businesses 100%? Oh, really? Is that just in the 10th council district? Good brother, you need to travel south down Crenshaw about a half mile. When you get to Vernon, get out the car and walk a few blocks. Ask the black business owners in your 8th council district how they feel about being economically asphyxiated, not by an alleged predatory landlord, but by a city project that you launched years ago and cannot seem to get across the finish line. Can I keep it real? Can I keep it real? What is the point of having a black city council president if he cannot find the funds to finish a years delayed project in his own district? What is the point of having a black city council president who cannot curate a business interruption development fund for the suffocating businesses in his own district? I declare, these black faces in high places don't mean diddly squat if they cannot deliver for black people. In the next editorial, I'm going to tell you what accountability looks like. And if the city still can't figure it out, well, I guess we'll have to show them what accountability looks like. With a KBLA Talk 1580 editorial, I'm Tavis Smiley, and as always, we welcome your feedback.
KBLA Talk 1580, that's his walk-on music. He is a peak performance expert. Fortune 50 company, not the 500, the Fortune 50s call on him to elevate themselves and their teams. His best-selling book, Shift into a Higher Gear, topped charts worldwide, and he is a sought-after keynote speaker. He's got an honorary doctorate, a Presidential Lifetime Achievement Award, and an ambassadorship to the United Nations. Dr. Delatorro McNeal, welcome.
It's an honor and a joy to be here with you, Dominique. Thanks so much.
Yeah, thank you for coming in. You are everywhere. You are everywhere. You got your books, you're doing coaching, you're doing speaking, and I see a lot media appearances as well.
Absolutely. We've been blessed. We've had a powerful career the last 23 years in speaking that has allowed us to do Fox, NBC, ABC, TBN, Daystar, you name it. We've been all over the place, and that's been an amazing journey for us. And what I'm really grateful for is how television and film have kind of been like a substratum of my speaking career the entire time. I remember getting on TBN when I was like 25 years old for one of my first books called Robbing the Grave of Its Greatness way back in the day. And Dr. Miles Monroe, who was a great mentor and dear friend of mine, may he rest in peace, power, and prosperity, really inspired me with the concept that we're supposed to live full and die empty. So we got to rob the grave of everything it's trying to take from us, because every single day, the truth is, we only get a chance to live once, right? And the wealthiest place in the world is not in Africa where they've got diamond mines or where they've got oil in the ground. The wealthiest place in the world is the cemetery, because there's goals that have never been achieved, songs that have never been sung, books that have never been written. So my philosophy is that we're put on this earth to live life to the fullest, and I believe that God called us to live life to the fullest. So it's been an exciting journey these last 23 years, and I'm here in LA because so many television and film doors are opening for us, and I'm excited about taking the gifts that God has given us and amplifying them through television and film.
You one of the things that you specialize in is motivating or elevating high achievers.
Yes,
right?
ma'am.
And I assume you're a high achiever. I
Yes,
mean, you've
ma'am.
got all these books, you're constantly traveling, speaking.
Yes,
So how
ma'am.
do you motivate probably the toughest customer of all as high achievers go, which is yourself?
So, Dominique, as you and I both understand, it takes a high achiever to understand a high achiever. And it also takes a high achiever to be able to challenge a high achiever. So from grade school, I have been blessed with the challenge of being a high achiever. And I know what it feels like to be a low achiever. I remember when I was in the 5th grade, I was put in a classroom full of all at-risk kids, told that academically I didn't have much potential. But my first African-American teacher, her name was Miss Diane Williams. She's still alive and she's still teaching today. She looked at me on the first day of class and she said, "You are not a youth at risk. You are a youth at promise. And I am not just going to teach you this year, I'm going to mentor you this year." And she became one of my greatest influences, and she taught me about high achievement. And because I used to get scholarship warnings that said excessive talking, the first thing that Miss Diane, first thing that she did was she said, "Since you like to talk, I'm going to put you on the morning show." So in 6th grade, elementary school, I'm on the morning show, reading the news, reading the weather, giving the kids what the activities are for the day, reading the lunch program. And that was my start into television and film and doing things at that level. But she redirected my bad behavior in a positive direction. And that was a catalyst for me. And from that point on, I didn't have any more academic challenges. And I became a high achiever. So here's what that means. I finished high school early, went to college, went to Florida State University. I got a bachelor's and a master's, 2 degrees in 5 years with a 4.0 and no debt. Came out with a $50,000 a year job in corporate America. And then I thought I was going to work in corporate America for 15, 20 years and then slowly transition into speaking. But that's not what God had on the agenda for my life. I got laid off 1 year new to corporate America, and I had to literally go from 50 grand to nothing in a day.
Wow. So, yeah, I mean, I got those warnings too.
Yeah,
You
those
know,
early
she
signs.
socializes too much. Oh, wait, she's going to talk for a living her whole life. But, and so turning what some may see as liabilities into promise
And
or
assets.
into assets.
Yeah. Looking at the negative and turning it into a positive. That's what Miss Diane Williams did for me. And when she did that for me, it wasn't just a temporary shift. That wasn't just a transaction. That was a transformation. And so I fell in love with transformation as a direct result of my first African-American teacher, Miss Diane Williams. The impact she made in my life in 1 calendar year taught me something powerful. And the impact she made in my life in 1 sentence. And Dominique, that story isn't just a cute story of what happened to me in 6th grade. Let me fast forward a little bit. Pastor Joel Osteen has told that exact story in 2 separate sermons that he's preached. And those sermons have looped to the tunes of millions of views online. And you don't have to believe me. You can go look it up yourself. If you type in Joel Osteen Barrier Breaker, watch that sermon. You'll hear him talk about Dr. Delatorro. You type in Joel Osteen, Tell Them What They Can Become. Completely different sermon. And you'll hear him talk about my story of being labeled an at-risk youth. And now, when I started my speaking career, I spent the first 6 years of my speaking career speaking to young people, high schools and colleges.
So you go from your corporate job to nothing, and then what happens?
And I went from corporate job to nothing, and then I said, I'm going to take my dream seriously. And my first mentor, who literally made his early career in radio, Les Brown, stepped into my life when I was 21 years old. And he said, "You have a gift and you have a talent, but it needs to be cultivated. You need a mentor. You need a coach. You need a big brother in this industry." And he became my first mentor. And he introduced me to Dr. Willie Jolly, who also is huge in radio and television. He became my second mentor. And they tag teamed on Dr. Delatorro. And I'm here today because great men and great black men saw something in me, poured into me, developed me, and cultivated me. So during this beautiful month of Men's Mental Health Awareness Month, I want to shout out two of my greatest men, three of them actually, Dr. Miles Monroe, may he rest in peace, power, and prosperity, Les Brown, and Dr. Willie Jolly, who have been phenomenal Black men of excellence who have helped me to be who I am today.
Yeah, I mean, I guess so. I guess my question is still sort of there, which is because we got this is the hindsight version.
Absolutely,
right?
yes.
Because
yes.
I know there has to be a little pause in between the corporate job and the shot out of a cannon with Les, with Les Brown and all these folks.
So that transition period, what was that like?
And not just that one, because I'm sure you've had other ones in your life too.
Mm-hmm.
And I find, I don't know, that when your job is to motivate and inspire other people,
mm-hmm.
are you allowed to be? Are you allowed to have an off day, Dr. Delatorro?
Let's go, sis. Absolutely, we are. So, and we're going to talk about that in this conversation, especially as we talk about navigating grief and navigating mental health as a man. The last 3 years have been really challenging. I'm literally just walking out of a 3-year caregiving season for my father.
Yes.
My father just passed away in February of this year.
And condolences.
Thank you so much. And I'm very grateful. I carry his name. One of my favorite jokes that my dad used to always say was he would call me and he'd say, "Son, who am I?" I said, "Dad, why do you say that?" He said, "Every time I type my name into Google, your stuff shows up." He said, "I got to go 8 pages into Google to see one picture of me." He said, "You done took my name and ran with it." So I'm very grateful that I made my dad proud while he was alive. And we'll talk more about Dad later, but he was a tremendous influence in my life. But yes, we as high achievers often have the responsibility of leading while bleeding. I'll say that again. We have the responsibility of leading while bleeding. In other words, most of us as high achievers don't get a chance to take time off, take a time out. We have to perform while we heal. We have to perform while we fix stuff. We have to perform and be at our best while we're trying to navigate crisis, because we don't get days off most times. Now, that's different from vacations. I'm not talking about taking time away from vacations. That's really important. I'm also not talking about self-care. I'm just talking about the responsibility of when you know that you are one of God's chosen. And we as high achievers know it. We feel it. We know we've been marked by God to do something amazing in the planet. And because of that, we tend to go through a lot of challenges. We tend to go through a lot of hardship and adversity. Because what Bishop Jakes taught me this, when the building is going to go really, really high, they got to dig really, really low to build that foundation. So what I've learned is that high achievers tend to struggle in silence, because for most high achievers, help is a cuss word. Right? So most high achievers, we can get away with, people are mesmerized by our aesthetic. People are mesmerized by our personality. People are mesmerized by our accomplishments and achievements. So we can do all this stuff that makes what we do look amazing and incredible, but internally, sometimes we can quiet quit on ourselves. Quiet quitting was a popular buzzword in corporate America a couple of years ago.
Yeah, right. Where you show up to the job, but you don't really do the job.
Yeah, exactly.
You're checked out. Yeah.
Most high achievers quiet quit all the time, because we can lead with
on themselves, but not on others.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my gosh. It's easy for us as high achievers to do everything for everybody else. Then it comes time to do it for ourselves, and it's like, oh my gosh, right? We're the big brothers. We're the fixers. We're the ones we're the healers. We're the empaths.
We're the codependents.
Right.
I mean, that's what it's sounding like. I mean, I'm not saying it's bad to help, but it does sound a little.
Sometimes we can get hooked into needing to be needed.
Mm-hmm.
I dealt with that. I dealt with needing to be needed, and I understood where it came from, because and again, that's what the benefit of therapy and mental health is, getting clear on. Hey, sometimes needing to be needed, that codependency, that's over-functioning. You don't need to over-function to earn love. You know what I'm saying? These are things that you should have position-based love, not performance-based love. You should be loved because of. You should be loved not because you have to perform, but because of who you are. We're human beings, not human doings. So when we can learn the importance of embracing the presence of just being and being loved because of who we are, not what we do, then we can begin to heal as high achievers, and we can begin to breathe as high achievers.
Dr. Delatorro McNeal is here, and we are going to talk about Dad. We're going to talk about going through grief. It is still Men's Mental Health Month, and even though I don't really tend to follow this month and that month, I've gotten a lot of feedback from the brothers that this is a needed conversation. So we're going to do it no matter what the month. We'll continue the conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
Where the overlooked become unmissable, this is KBLA Talk 1580.
Wishing happy birthday to KBLA. 5 years old, yeah, with more that's coming your way. Congratulations, come on, y'all, let's celebrate. Happy birthday to KBLA. Look, 5 years deep and we still going up. Built it from the ground, never real, no one else. Real talk on the air, then the truth get heard. Every day the proof getting served. He had a vision and he stayed with the plan. Now they tapped in from the beach to the land. Never back down, 7 days of the week, still going up now. We 5 years deep. Wishing happy birthday to KBLA. Happy smiling, you did it with 5 years today. Congratulations, come on y'all, let's celebrate. Happy birthday to KBLA.
It's been said that when someone you love has Parkinson's, you have Parkinson's.
The Parkinson's Foundation knows that the disease doesn't just affect the diagnosed. It affects everyone who supports and helps care for them.
If you have questions, the Parkinson's Foundation has answers
We can help you understand the disease.
and give you tips for living a better life.
Find your answers at parkinson.org or call 1-800-473-4636. The Parkinson's Foundation. Better lives together.
Small businesses are the heart of America. But you don't have to go it alone. As the nation's largest nonprofit resource of expert business mentoring, SCORE has helped millions of entrepreneurs build their businesses for free. Get the connections, education, and guidance you need with SCORE. We're ready to help. Find a mentor today at score.org.
This November, you'll decide who leads California. So shouldn't you hear directly from the people asking for your vote? Join us for California Voices, a political town hall and ballot forum, Saturday, October 3rd, 2026. Meet candidates running for governor, lieutenant governor, attorney general, and other major statewide and local offices, including Mayor of Los Angeles, city attorney, and LA County Sheriff. Get clear, nonpartisan breakdowns of the propositions on your November ballot, both sides, no spin. And ask your questions directly, in real conversation, face to face. California Voices is brought to you by KBLA Talk 1580 and the Empowerment Congress, giving you the information you need before you vote. Mark your calendar, Saturday, October 3rd, 2026, California Voices. Follow KBLA 1580 for details and download the KBLA 1580 app. Your vote, your voice. Be there.
Thanks for waking up with Dominique DePrima on KBLA Talk 1580.
Dr. Delatorro McNeal is here, and he just taught me something that I did not know, which is that there is a Speakers Hall of Fame.
Yes, ma'am. Absolutely.
I had no idea.
Absolutely. Just like
and you're in it.
Just like the NFL has the Hall of Fame, and there's so many different industries have a Hall of Fame.
Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Rock and Roll Hall
Yeah,
of Fame.
I'm not in any Halls of Fame, but apparently you are in the Speakers Hall of Fame, which, what does that mean exactly?
So the CPAE, which stands for the Council of Peers Award of Excellence, was created in 1977 to honor the best and the brightest speakers on planet Earth. And so the CPAE is an award received through the National Speakers Association. The National Speakers Association is the largest international governing body of professional speakers in the world. And so I've been a 20-plus year member of the National Speakers Association. And so 3 years ago, I got inducted into the National Speakers Association Speaker Hall of Fame for my 20-plus year body of work in professional speaking. And it was a big deal. And you
started very young.
Yes, ma'am.
Because, for people going to carry the one,
yeah.
He started young.
Yeah.
So congratulations to you. That's a big deal. You were
so
sharing
much.
that there's not that many African Americans or black people
There's
globally
12.
that are
There's
in that
12 black
Hall of
speakers that have ever in history been inducted into the Hall of Fame. and several have passed on, but there are 12. And I'm one of the 12. So Les Brown, Dr. Willie Jolly, Simon Bailey, Walter Bond, Vernice Armour, Crystal Washington. There's many that I can name, but Lenora Billings Harris, John Register. There's more that I can name. But at the end of the day, there's 12 of us, and I'm honored to be one of the 12 inducted into the Speaker Hall of Fame. It's the highest award you can win. It puts me in the top 1% of paid speakers all over the world. So God's been really, really good.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
And it comes with a ring?
No, so this is so since we're talking about mental health, this is important. I actually got this ring for myself. So when I got inducted into the Hall of Fame, they gave you get this huge award ceremony. They give you this beautiful plaque and the statue and all that. So I had the actual statue put on a ring, and I had it made. Because I said if I work in corporate America, I would have gotten a ring. If I was in a network marketing organization, I would have got a ring.
Oh, and it says Hall of Fame. That's
okay. Yes, ma'am. So
awesome.
It's got my name on it. It's got Hall of Fame the year we got inducted. So
which makes sense to a conversation we were having off the air, because you probably would forget all about being in the Speakers Hall of Fame if you didn't have that ring on your finger.
Exactly. So
you'd be on to the next.
I'd be on to the next mountain,
conquest.
Right? Next conquest, which is what we as high achievers do. We go from conquest to conquest, and we don't stop and take enough time to celebrate. We don't stop and take enough time to say, and watch this, even God did it. He made Monday and he stopped and said, Monday is good. He made Tuesday and said, Tuesday's good, right? And I think we have to learn that lesson. We got to step back from achievement enough to celebrate it. Go to a restaurant, go get a dinner, go on a quick trip, go get a massage, go do something, get yourself a ring, even if take yourself on a little shopping spree, even if nobody else does it. Do something to honor yourself for the sacrifice and the dedication that it took for you to achieve said goal.
Yeah. No, I mean, I actually, my godfather told me that I need to get a charm bracelet and put a charm on it for each achievement.
Yes.
So that I would remember.
Always have those reminders.
So that I would remember, you did a thing.
Yes, you did that, girl. That was awesome.
You did a thing. So high achievers is your focus, but I've seen you on some of the shows. It seems like you're also focusing on motivating everyday people.
Yes.
And whether they're high achievers or not, or whether they know there are or not.
Exactly.
Because, and it's particularly right now, I feel like there is a little bit of an epidemic of discouragement and overwhelm because of where we are in the world, where we are in our country, the economy.
Yes.
Just a lot of pressures coming to bear.
I feel like right now, people need to make some significant shifts. My latest book that's I'm really, really proud of is called Shift into a Higher Gear, Better Your Best and Live Life to the Fullest. That book has gotten me on the Wall Street Journal and USA Today bestseller list. I'm really, really grateful for it. That book also landed me on NBC's The Today Show a record-breaking 7 times. Sis, 7 times on The Today Show for the same book without a PR firm. Now, you being in media understand how difficult that is.
Yeah, nearly impossible.
Pretty
much,
right?
It's pretty much impossible. Yeah.
So one of the concepts in that book that I think is paramount to this conversation is the necessity that we have to shift our attitude, to shift our mindsets around things. And I think right now, with everything happening in our world and our society, we have to be willing to think differently about things. See, most of us experience the hardship and the adversity that happens in our life as life happening to us. And when you process things as life happening to you, you get to be the victim. Here's the challenge, Dominique, with this happened to me. When I am if life is always happening to me, I am always at the effect of some outside cause of which I have no control over.
Or responsibility.
That part. We get to shuck responsibility when everything's happening to us because I get to be the victim, right? However, when you shift from this is happening to me to this is somehow happening for me, all of a sudden the divorce is happening for me. All of a sudden that layoff is happening for me. All of a sudden that health diagnosis is somehow happening for me. Maybe that health diagnosis is what you needed to get you healthy. because God wanted you to live another 20 years. Maybe that divorce happened for you because there was things you didn't see, hear, or be a part of that were detrimental to your future. And God wanted you to be in a different dynamic, in a more healed romantic partnership. Maybe that layoff was God's way of pushing you out of employee into entrepreneurship. Maybe that book that you haven't finished writing, that you get frustrated about and you blame yourself for having writer's block, has nothing to do with writer's block, has everything to do with the fact that books work harder on you than you do on books. I'm here in LA celebrating one of my good colleagues, Dr. Holly Carter. She just released her brand new book, The Silent Leak. I'm her book coach on that book project. Everybody can go to Amazon, pick up that book right now, The Silent Leak. It's dope.
Congrats, Holly Carter.
She just dropped an amazing movie, right?
Yeah.
Thou shalt not commit adultery, inspired by that book. So I'm excited for her. So I believe in books and I believe in book publishing. But sis, one of the things that I believe is that books work harder on us than we do on books.
You have several.
I've written 8, yes ma'am, and I coach authors and speakers, and I have a program called Crush the Stage that helps coach them and take them to the next level. One of the things that I say to authors all the time is publishing is finishing. And a book is going to work harder on you than you will on the book, because the book is going to require you to become vulnerable, to become transparent, to expose yourself. And a lot of times we don't want to do that, but that's where the healing really begins.
Well, and I think foundationally, when you talk about victim versus victor,
yes,
you know, that's a through line in all of this stuff.
Absolutely.
Because I think we can get stuck telling the same stories over and over again that keep us perpetually stuck in our victimhood.
Come on.
Sahara Ali, who does this show every week, doing inspiration with us for Mindful Monday, she talks about taking your power back.
Yes.
And what does that look like? It looks like not painting yourself as a victim.
Come on. Absolutely. We have to take control. We have to get back in the driver's seat. And so when I say this incident, even the caregiving journey that I just came out of
with your own dad,
with my own father, 3 years, completely unannounced, completely unexpected, came out of nowhere. My dad, even though my father was an advocate for disabled veterans all over the world, and my father operated from a wheelchair for 56 years, right? My father died at age 77. I'm 48. So my entire life, I saw my dad operate from a wheelchair. But my dad could have sat back on a government check his whole life. He got injured in his early 20s.
Wow.
In the Vietnam War. And so he was left paralyzed from the waist down from his early 20s until he passed away at 77. But the thing that was powerful for me is Dad went into the hospital because he said he had a routine stomach ache. Come to find out, his stomach had a perforation in it and it was leaking bile into his system, and he fell into something called sepsis or septic shock. I didn't even know what that was until it hit him. And so my father was in ICU for 6 months. A weekend visit to the hospital turned into 6 months in ICU, turned into 1 year, 2 year, 3 year caregiving journey that I did not expect or anticipate. And I had just got inducted into the Hall of Fame. Wow.
Hold that thought.
Yeah.
We said we were going to talk about Dad.
Yes.
We'll do it after news, traffic, and sports.
Let's do it.
KBLA Talk 1580.
She's reclaiming her time on KBLA Talk 1580. More First Things First with Dominique DePrima when we come forward.
I'm Esther Dillard with BIN News Now. Black Texas Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett was not picked as the Senate nominee and is not campaigning for the winner, James Tallarico. That's leading to questions about whether black voters will come out in November.
The fear for Tallarico isn't so much that black voters vote for Ken Paxton, it's that they don't turn out in large numbers.
Rice political analyst Mark Jones says the black voting bloc is reliably around 15% of all ballots cast. In California, the Los Angeles City Council is again moving to end urban oil production. The council unanimously advanced an ordinance to halt oil and gas drilling. And Jewish leaders in San Antonio are blasting the Alamodome's decision to allow Kanye West to use the venue for a 4th of July concert. 6 members of the city council issued a statement saying censorship could set a precedent toward limiting expression.
Wild Rivers is now open daily with over 25 slides and attractions for thrill seekers and lazy river chillers. Visit wildrivers.com for great values on season passes and daily tickets. That's wildrivers.com. Wild Rivers, where there's sun and fun for everyone.
Is this the tackle? This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
SoFi Stadium in Inglewood will be jumping tonight. The U.S. men's soccer team is back in action in the World Cup. The U.S. takes on Turkey. Start time 7 p.m. This is more of a tune-up match for the U.S. At 2-0, they've already qualified for the knockout round, the round of 32. Live coverage tonight on Fox Sports or Telemundo. The Dodgers have the best record in Major League Baseball after sweeping a 3-game series against the Twins in Minnesota. The Dodgers' 4-3 win put them at 52-29. Dodgers shortstop Mookie Betts hit his 300th career home run. The Dodgers are off today. They start a 3-game series Friday night in San Diego. Venus and Serena Williams will learn their opponents at Wimbledon on Friday when the pairings are announced. Venus and Serena are playing doubles together. Serena is also in the singles competition. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
Knock, knock, Capital One Bank guy.
Wow, Charles Barkley?
I just moved into the neighborhood. Can I borrow some Wi-Fi?
Sure, Chuck. That's what the Capital One Cafe is here for, open 7 days a week.
Oh, can I use your ATM? My dog walker only takes cash.
Anything for a neighbor.
Can I try the catchphrase?
Sure, take it for a spin.
There's no fees or minimums on Capital One checking accounts.
Nice, Chuck. I'll take it from here. Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Visit CapitalOne.com/bankguide for details. Capital One and a member FDIC.
All I need is one mic.
With a KBLA Talk 1580 editorial, I'm Tavis Smiley. Some interesting developments as it relates to Destination Crenshaw, or Procrastination Crenshaw, as it's known around these parts. So, just north of us on Crenshaw Boulevard in the 10th Council District, there's a black-owned restaurant called The District. Apparently, the restaurant is in some sort of legal dispute with the landlord, and it's gotten pretty ugly. So ugly, in fact, that the 3 black members of the LA City Council recorded a video in support of the restaurant, which is now circulating online. You might have seen it by now. To be clear, here at KBLA, we have nothing but love for Council members Heather Hutt and Curran D. Price Jr., who have been real champions for this particular black-owned and operated business, even though KBLA does not sit in either of their council districts. But take a listen to our 8th District Council member, Marquise Harris Dawson, who, as you know, is also president of the LA City Council.
Marquise Harris Dawson, president of the Los Angeles City Council and representative of District 8. We just want you to know, from the 10th District to the 8th District and all across the city, we love the district. We support Tyree and the whole team that's there. It's one of the most beloved sports watching facilities in our district, and we all stand by them 100%.
All right, now for starters, lip service is not leadership, and slogans are not solutions. That said, I played that video at least 5 times. I mean, I was gobsmacked. The council president stands with black businesses 100%? Oh, really? Is that just in the 10th council district? Good brother, you need to travel south down Crenshaw about a half mile. When you get to Vernon, get out the car and walk a few blocks. Ask the black business owners in your 8th council district how they feel about being economically asphyxiated, not by an alleged predatory landlord, but by a city project that you launched years ago and cannot seem to get across the finish line. Can I keep it real? Can I keep it real? What is the point of having a black city council president if he cannot find the funds to finish a years delayed project in his own district? What is the point of having a black city council president who cannot curate a business interruption development fund for the suffocating businesses in his own district? I declare, these black faces in high places don't mean diddly squat if they cannot deliver for black people. In the next editorial, I'm going to tell you what accountability looks like. And if the city still can't figure it out, well, I guess we'll have to show them what accountability looks like. With a KBLA Talk 1580 editorial, I'm Tavis Smiley, and as always, we welcome your feedback.
We're not for everybody, but we're for everybody. You're listening to KBLA Talk 1580.
Dr. Delatorro McNeal is here. Shift into a higher gear, better your best, and live life to the fullest is one of his 8 books. That's the latest one, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so time flies when you're on the radio.
Absolutely.
You started talking about your dad and how he spent a good portion of his life in a wheelchair.
Yes, ma'am.
And suddenly had this sepsis diagnosis, which is really scary.
Yes, absolutely.
Really scary. I think something probably under-discussed.
Right, absolutely.
Another show for another day.
Correct.
The caregiver experience, which is very, very, very taxing.
Very real and very taxing. Yes.
Yeah.
You deal with a lot when you so again, a weekend in the hospital turned into a 3-year battle at the VA with my father, and it was unexpected, it was unanticipated. It came out of nowhere. And so his wife, we call her Mama Anna. She's married to my dad for 44 years. So his wife, his sister, Bana, my brother, Michael, and myself, we became a 4-part caregiving team. And we were up at the VA, literally, Miss Anna was there every day. I was there like 3 or 4 times a week. I mean, everybody, we got up there as much as we could and spent as much time as we could. And then you do that over the course of 6 months, then a year, then 2 years, then 3 years. It's exhausting. It completely obliterates your schedule. It completely obliterates a lot of your ambition and your drive, because now, especially for me, because, you know, I'm used to being on the road, traveling everywhere, going, but I had to take a sabbatical from being on the road to focus on Dad's health, to focus on his well-being, to be his cheerleader, to be
I mean, what a blessing for him that he had such a dedicated family.
Yes, yeah, to pour into, I mean, and because he poured into the lives of disabled veterans all over the world, we wanted to make sure that he had the best care possible. And so I was a champion, I was an coach, I was an encourager for Dad. And, you know, I still was doing things. I was still, you know, functioning in business.
Writing a book.
And writing books and doing television and doing podcasts. And I built a studio in my home. I kept busy. But at the end of the day, I couldn't travel and be on the road and be in hotels and airports all the time like I was used to. So I had to sow a seed. You know, Scripture says, honor thy father and thy mother, so your days will be long in the earth. So I had to make that trade. And I'm so grateful to my mentor, Dr. Willie Jolly, because he said, you will never regret the decision you make to take care of your parents. No matter what professional sacrifices you make,
yeah, of course,
you won't regret taking that sabbatical to take care, to do everything you can for Mom and Dad.
But then he passes.
And then he passed, yeah.
Which is just a few months ago.
Yeah, it's been a little over 90 days since he passed. And I'm so grateful to my mentor, Les Brown, who's over 80 years old, who flew into Tampa to attend the funeral. He surprised me. He didn't even tell me he was coming. He surprised me, and he said, the way you've honored your father on social media since he passed, because, you know, my dad, he passed on February 19th. His funeral was about a week later. So that whole week after he passed, I was just honoring him on social media. And Les was so amazed at how we were honoring my father's legacy online. He said, I have to be a part of this, to see my spiritual son, my mentee, who's a Hall of Fame speaker, honor his father, who's a Purple Heart recipient and disabled veteran who advocated for veterans. I, as your spiritual father and mentor, have to come and be a part of this. And so we posted a picture of me and Les at my dad's casket at the funeral. It got over 200,000. The photo went viral, to over 200,000 views in like a week's time, because people were blown away by seeing a patriarch in Les Brown honor a spiritual son in Dr. Delatorro, honoring his father, who was an advocate for veterans. Yeah. So, isn't that a beautiful,
it's a beautiful continuum.
Yes.
And then, you know, I'm going to ask you for what you do, because I know that despite the fact that you're showing up here, you know, and on the Today Show 8 times, and you're bringing this smile and this positive energy, that there's a grieving process going on for you.
Yeah.
So what is it that you do, or what is it that you would share that is part of that grieving?
Yeah.
That allows you to function and still not be in denial about what you are dealing with.
So powerful, sis. So I'm a huge advocate. I am not a therapist. I'm not a mental health professional. But I have done a tremendous amount of self-study. I'm certified in neuroscience. I'm certified in NLP, which is the study of the language of the unconscious mind. And I'm just a tremendous believer in mental health and emotional healing and emotional intelligence. And so I've had therapists in my life for 10 years. And I really believe in the importance of having a therapist that you can talk to, because even as I was going through the caregiving journey, I was dealing with two things. One, I was dealing with anticipatory grief. Anticipatory grief is the grief that you experience before someone passes.
You know what's coming.
You know what's coming. You can experience anticipatory grief in relationships when you know that a breakup is coming. You know a divorce is coming. You know you know that the end is coming. There's an anticipation of the grief that you know you're going to experience. So caregiving for that long, I was experiencing anticipatory grief. So I had to talk through that with my therapist. I also had to deal with another emotion or another psychological phenomenon called helper's fatigue. Helper's fatigue is when you get tired of helping. You get, and then you feel guilty for being tired of helping.
Right.
You feel guilty for being tired of showing up for people that you love.
Right.
It's called helper's fatigue, and the guilt associated with helper's fatigue. These are all things we have to really, that's why it's important, even as a caregiver, to take vacations, take staycations, take time away, believe in self-care, have a journal, focus on gratitude, pray, read good books, listen to good podcasts every day.
Do you meditate?
Absolutely. Every single day. I pray, I meditate, I journal. These are the things that I do to stay positive. I only keep positive people around me. One of my great mentors and dear friends is Dr. George Fraser. He wrote this in a book about 15 years ago, in his book called Click. He said, "Your friends are God's way of apologizing to you for your family." And I thought that was powerful. I'm going to say it again. He said, "Your friends are God's way of apologizing to you for your family." He said, "It doesn't make sense to have broke, busted, disgusted family and broke, busted, disgusted friends. You're stuck with your family, but you can choose your friends. So choose your friends wisely." Ever since he said that, I've been hyper intentional about the friends in my life. So much so that in chapter 8 of Shift Into a Higher Gear, chapter 8 of the book is called Shift Your Posse, because who you ride with matters. It doesn't, in a car, it doesn't matter who rides with you. It doesn't impact the ride. But on a motorcycle, who rides with you is life or death. Because if they don't lean when you lean, if they don't navigate when you navigate, if they don't pull back when you pull back, literally who rides with you on a motorcycle is life or death.
And you ride a motorcycle.
And I ride a motorcycle. I've been a motorcycle rider for 15 years. So the lesson is I only keep positive people in my life. What keeps me positive is the people around me. I only surround myself with people who are going in good directions, going in positive places, people who are high vibrational.
That doesn't mean they can't have an off day, that your friend can't call you and cry on your shoulder.
Oh my gosh. I mean, think about it. Over the last 3 years, I've had all kinds of off days over the last 3 years. And I can go to people that I love and care about and say, "Listen, I'm having a tough moment. I'm having a tough time." But then that's when the journaling comes in. That's when the taking your shoes off and taking a walk in nature comes in.
And it also means they don't spiral you into the problem.
Right.
They elevate you. I mean, that's one of the criteria I have from my girlfriends.
Yeah.
If they're going down the sad sack, the all men ain't the what is the saying that I try to avoid? It's always something.
Right.
Why does it always have to be something?
Dominique, one of the things that I always teach people all the time is what's negative is always available. So is what's positive. We have to learn to focus on more of the positive, because the truth is you never have to plant seeds to grow weeds.
Yeah.
Have you noticed that in life and in business? You never have to plant seeds to grow weeds. Weeds are everywhere. They're automatic, and you don't have to do anything to manifest them. However, to manifest a crop or a harvest, you have to plant a seed. So what that means is that negativity is everywhere. It's free. But positively is going to cost you. You have to invest to stay positive. So it's vitally.
It's everywhere too, but you have to cultivate
seek it out. You got to cultivate it, and you got to be intentional. Growth is intentional. Being positive is intentional. Every morning, people have two choices. You can wake up and say, "Good God, it's morning," or you can wake up and say, "Good morning, God." Same words, different energy. "Good morning, God," says one day. "Good God, it's morning," says another energy and another day. We have a choice. Your attitude is a choice. Your disposition about life is a choice. So choose what's positive. Everything's hard. Being single is hard. Being in a relationship is hard. Choose your hard. Being fit, I'm fit, is hard. Guess what? So is being overweight. It's hard. Choose your hard. Being an entrepreneur is hard. Working for somebody else is hard. Choose your hard. Choose your difficult. Being 100% locked in with God ain't easy. That's hard. Being strayed and away from God is hard. Choose your hard.
Straying away from God, is it hard? Yeah, I guess because you have to live with the results
you have to
of that.
you have to live with the results of the distance
easy,
and the feeling of being detached from God, right?
It's a different heart.
But it's a different heart. That's what I'm saying. So no matter what you decide to do, there's going to be difficulty in it. Watch this. Living your dreams is hard. Guess what else is hard? Living your fears and living below your potential and your privilege and
dreams deferred.
And Scripture says hope deferred makes the heart sick, but a dream realized is a tree of life. So living below your potential is hard. Living your dreams at the highest level is also hard. Choose your heart.
That's Dr. Delatorro McNeal. They're talking about you in the chat, the YouTube chat, Dr. McNeal, Dr. Delatorro McNeal. Morris said hallelujah anyhow.
That's right.
Yogi Fish said powerful, and Reddy Samedi says 100%.
Let's go. Let's go.
Friend Morris says, friends, I only have one. What's wrong with me? I don't know. Maybe he needs to change the question. And we will continue this conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
Woo-hoo. More First Things First with Dominic DePrima when we come forward. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. At the heart of the Al Wooten Center's mission for good citizenship and academic excellence is a desire to ensure that every student avoids the kind of lifestyle and overcomes the kinds of challenges that led to the murder of Al Wooten Jr. In 1990, founder Myrtle Fay Rumpf opened the center in honor of her son's life. In 2026, they are serving more than 300 students in grades 3 through 12 annually online and on site at their youth center and other sites in the South LA area. The Al Wooten Jr. Youth Center takes a neighborhood approach to the revitalization and empowerment of a community in crisis. The Wooten Center provides free after-school and summer programs to help students in grades 3 through 12 attain grade-level proficiency and promotion, high school graduation, and college and career access and success. The Al Wooten Center focuses on academics, STEM, the arts, and so much more. Join them for an enriching experience that sparks creativity and nurtures young minds. Tap in at wootencenter.org. That's wootencenter.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
You've got to try the new TikTok diet.
Just ask Chat.
I just take blue-green algae.
You just have to eat kale. Kale, kale, kale.
I read you should put butter in your coffee.
Or you could trust your gut. When it comes to your energy, digestion, and overall health, how do you know what's actually right for you? That's where Viome comes in. Viome is a simple, at-home gut health test that looks at your body's real-time biology using RNA to show what's going on inside you right now. Not trends, not guesses, your biology. With your results, Viome gives you clear, personalized, actionable guidance. Which foods help you, which ones don't, and which supplements your body actually can benefit from. All based on the world's largest gut health databases and thousands of clinical research studies. Many people who use Viome report better digestion, more energy, and an improved mood within months. So stop guessing. Start knowing.
And maybe still eat the kale?
Maybe. Learn more at viome.com/know. V as in Victor, IOME.com/KNOW. And use coupon code VIOME50 to save $50 off your purchase.
And eat everything blue.
No thanks.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. Created with a share of the 1984 Olympic Games surplus, LA 84 began operations in 1985 as a grant-making and educational foundation. Today, the LA 84 Foundation supports hundreds of nonprofit youth sports organizations throughout Southern California annually, trains coaches, commissions research, convenes conferences, and maintains the world's premier Olympic and sports library collection. They are transforming lives and communities through the power of youth sports. To find out about youth sports programs for yourself or your child, and to get information about the grants and support they offer to schools and nonprofits, or if you want to make a donation, please visit la84.org. That's la84.org. Or you can call them at 323-730-4600. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
The conversation continues right now with Dominic DePrima on First Things First.
He is in the Speakers Hall of Fame, and he's the author of Shift into Higher Gear, Better Your Best and Live Life to the Fullest. That's his latest book. Dr. Delatorro McNeal is with us. we were talking off the mic about 4 types of knowledge. Break that down, if you would.
So one of the things that I believe that's really, really important is we have to understand that there's 4 types of knowledge and there's 4 levels of learning. We were talking offline about the books that we read and how important books are and how important taking and consuming good information and good content is. And the reason why it's so important that we understand that there's 4 levels of it is because you can read a book and not apply a book. You can read a book and not implement the principles from the book. So the first type of knowledge is head knowledge, information that we know here intellectually. I can read a book and know what it says. I can listen to a podcast and intellectually process it. I can be in a church service and or I can read a scripture and intellectually I got it. I now have awareness. But head knowledge and heart knowledge are not the same. Head knowledge is intellectual. Heart knowledge is emotional. We can know something in our head that we haven't embraced in our emotions yet.
Right, that's why lived experience is important.
That's why lived experience is so important. So it has to drop down to our heart. And then once we can intellectualize something, and then we can have an emotional connection to that which we've intellectualized, we got to go to the 3rd level of learning, or the 3rd level of knowledge, which is hand knowledge. Hand knowledge makes you reach for different things. It makes you put your hands to different things. It makes you write differently. It makes you perform differently, right? It's what you aspire towards is your hand knowledge, right? And then the last level of learning, or the last level of knowledge, is foot knowledge, where you actually change where you go, where the knowledge and the information that you learn changes your location. You move different as a result.
Changes your path.
Changes your path.
But what is the hand knowledge? Is that like a tactical
It's tactical, yes,
understanding?
exactly. It's a tactical understanding. Yes,
something.
absolutely. So there's an intellectual understanding, an emotional understanding, a tactical understanding, and then a positional understanding.
And I imagine that the combination of those 4 equates to a spiritual
mastery. Yes. Once
understanding.
Once you've integrated all 4, now you're at that level of mastery. And I believe that most people seek to get to that level of mastery of what we call unconscious competence, where you're so good that you're not even trying to be as good as you are. Like you've spent so many hours mastering your craft that you're unconsciously competent. You know, I tell people all the time, because I mentor people who want to become speakers, authors, and coaches because I'm in the Hall of Fame. But I've been doing this for 15 years, long before I got in the Hall of Fame. So I have a 4-day boot camp called Crush the Stage. People can go to crushthestage.com to learn about it. But it's a 4-day boot camp, and I make my speakers, I take 8 people at a time through a 4-day process. I make them speak 8 different times over the course of 4 days, and I teach them my 12-step blueprint for platform mastery. But in that program, one of the things that I teach speakers is that if a shepherd should smell like sheep, then a speaker should smell like audience. I teach my speakers that it's important that you be in the understanding of how your audience thinks. You have to think like the person that because I'm Dr. Delatorro, but here's the truth, Dominique. I've never heard Dr. Delatorro speak, and I never will, because the fruit that falls off of a tree was never meant for the tree. I'm going to say that again. The fruit that falls off of a tree was never meant for the tree. So in other words, I've never seen an apple tree eat its own apples. I've never seen an orange tree eat its own oranges. A banana tree never eats its own bananas. So the fruit that falls off of our life is not meant for us. It's meant to be consumed by others. So my gift is not about me. In other words, even right now, as I'm delivering on this mic to you, I can't be the listener on the other side receiving it.
Right.
Because I'm the executor of the gift.
So you got to get into their head.
Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. And I think that's vitally important that we understand that. And it takes the integration of head knowledge, heart knowledge, hand knowledge, and foot knowledge to truly get to what we call mastery and that elite level of execution of the gift that God has given each and every one of us. Because we all have a responsibility to utilize our gifts to the fullest while we're here on this earth. Because none of us want to live full and die full. We want to live full and die empty. I've never seen a U-Haul behind a hearse. We can't take it with us when we go. So we have to leave it all here. And even with Dad's passing, he's passed the name, he's passed the mantle on to me, and I'm grateful for that. But guess what? I made his name famous before he ever passed. So at his funeral, I didn't feel any weight or responsibility. I didn't feel like I had any shoulda, coulda, wouldas. I felt complete as a son. My dad could pass on to glory knowing that I've made his name significant on this planet. And I've raised two amazing daughters. So I've passed on an incredible legacy of fatherhood. I've passed on an incredible legacy of excellence. And I think that's what matters. And I think that's what's important. And the more we can live this integrated life where we can focus on gratitude. I know one of your viewers was asking a question about how do I get my joy back?
Molly Bell, she said she was feeling you.
Yeah.
In the chat. But
Thank you, Molly Bell.
and she asked, is 79 too late? She's always asking that. So what happens when you lose your joy or you lose your spark?
So when those things happen, and it happens to all of us, we all plateau in life. We all plateau in business. We all plateau in ministry. We all get to places where we just feel like things are just, right? And so when that happens, you have to find your joy again. You have to find your passion. You have to find your pass I on. Slow down the word passion. If you slow down the word passion, it's pass I on. How do I pass myself on to others, right? How do I create legacy? One of the quickest ways to get joy is to pass on what you've learned, what you've mastered, what you've achieved, what you've experienced. That's one of the beautiful parts about where I sit. I'm 48. I'm not even 50 yet. I'm in the Speaker Hall of Fame, and I've spent 15 years cultivating people who are now speakers, authors, and coaches. So my ripple effect continues, but that's the legacy part. So even when sometimes life isn't going the way that I want, I feel beautiful about the fact that I've passed on my lessons, my passion. I execute my passion, and I pass myself on to my daughters. I pass myself on to my coaching clients. I pass myself on to the people that I'm mentoring. Just like we talked about offline, all the consulting coaching that you're doing, the communications coaching that you're doing, the writing that you're doing, all these things that you're doing is a way that you get to pass Dominique's brilliance and expertise on to other people. That's how we kind of recreate that joy.
So if they want to become your client, and a lot of people want to be speakers, but there's a little bit more to it than it looks. Yeah. It's one of those things that's harder than it looks.
Yeah.
CrestTheStage.com.
That's where they
go. They want to follow you for inspiration. Obviously, they can buy the book where books are sold.
Absolutely. All of our books are everywhere, and we're also on Audible, and I actually read all my books on Audible.
Oh, nice.
So I have 3 books on Audible. So go to Audible, type in Dr. Delatorro, all my books will come up. Our books are also on Amazon.
And your socials.
And all of our socials are at Dr. Delatorro, DRDELATORRO. That's at DRDELATORRO on LinkedIn, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, all the things. And I'm just excited to be here. Follow us on all of our socials. We're always dropping great inspirational content, and we love to help take people to the next level. And I'm excited about all the big God doors that are opening here in LA. So sis, we're going to be doing a lot more interviews together, because I feel like I'm going to be out here probably every 2 months.
Amazing.
Yes,
we'll look forward to it. We could definitely use some inspiration. It's a pleasure to meet you, and thank you for sharing all the stuff you're doing with us.
Thank you so much. Today. It's an honor, Dominique. Thank you so much.
Indeed. Tavis Smiley's coming around the corner. He's got an incredible show on tap for you today. I'm sure he'll love to connect with you since Les Brown is your mentee.
Absolutely.
He's part of our Hall of Fame here at KBLA. Don't forget to tap in with me on socials. I'm at Diprima Radio, DIPRIMA, and then radio. And, of course, the station is everywhere at KBLA 1580. We've got a lot to talk about, so tap in off the air as well as on the air. Like my mama, the great late poet laureate of the city of San Francisco, used to say, the ultimate famine is the starvation of the imagination. Until tomorrow, one love.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Esther Dillard with BIN News Now. Black Texas Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett was not picked as the Senate nominee and is not campaigning for the winner, James Tallarico. That's leading to questions about whether black voters will come out in November.
The fear for Tallarico isn't so much that black voters vote for Ken Paxton, it's that they don't turn out in large numbers.
Rice political analyst Mark Jones says the black voting bloc is reliably around 15% of all ballots cast. In California, the Los Angeles City Council is again moving to end urban oil production.